What's up, guys? It's John Dominique, aka Johnny Run Sport. Today I want to tell you the story about me and the Gel Nimbus 26. Here's the shoe right here. I know this is an old shoe and I'm a little bit late to the party, but just bear with me because I just want to say that I was wrong, first of all, about this shoe. I've had it in my collection for a while. I didn't really give it a chance. I have other shoes in my collection that I thought would be a lot better. And so this one kind of stayed in the collection, just kind of kicking dust in my closet. I was mostly a Gel Cumulus fan. And I had two pairs of the Gel Cumulus. I want to say I had the 25 and the 27, and I liked that shoe, very good. I always told myself the Nimbus was a little too much stack. I didn't need all that stack, it's too much. And what put me onto that idea was that I bought a Nova Blast, a used Nova Blast. I want to say it was a Nova Blast 4, and it had a similar heel shape. And I thought to myself, that Nimbus has the same shape. And I knew that Nova Blast, the heel was a little too much for me. It felt chunky in the back. It felt, I wouldn't say clunky, but it was just, I wasn't used to such a shoe with a huge heel stack, and I kind of didn't like it. I was wearing it for walking around mostly. I didn't really run in the shoe, to be honest with you. And so I thought the same thing of the Gel Cumulus, and I was like, probably the Gel Cumulus is not going to be for me, just because I knew that that Nova Blast had that chunky heel and had a similar heel. I would just look at it and I was like, yeah, that's probably going to be the same heel. I probably wouldn't enjoy it like that. But I kind of stayed away from the Gel Nimbus, but one day I saw a good deal on a used pair, and I liked the way the color was, and this is the shoe here. It's a blue color and it's nice. I like my uppers with just almost as uniform as possible in the color. So this did a pretty good job, and it looks pretty smooth. I liked it. I bought it based on the looks, basically. I did a little research on it, and I did see that, it had good traction too. And, I'm not opposed to shoes with good traction. I like shoes with good traction, and I wanted something with a little bit of stability in it, like inherent stability on the underside because of the wideness of the platform. And it had a good heel drop, and the upper looked okay to me. It's not the best upper with the tongue. I wish the tongue was a little bit thicker, but I'm not complaining. But I had the shoe in my collection. It sat there for a while. I didn't wear it very much at all. I just wore it like as a fashion shoe mostly. I only walked with it. I didn't give it a chance to do any running in it. But today, for some reason, I went to the gym and I worked out. And for some reason or other, I picked up this shoe to go to the gym. I was surprised. The shoe held up pretty good. It was pretty stable. I was able to, do some exercising. I didn't do a whole full workout, and the exercising was short. It wasn't 30 minutes. I went and I did some chest exercises. I did some leg presses, and also some other exercises for my sides and my abs. Just noticed the bottom of the shoe got some gunk on it. I don't know if it's gum or something on there. It just came back from the fort, from a trail, walking around in a trail, and now I got this gunk at the bottom. I don't know if I'm gonna try to get it off, but anyway, I went to the gym with the shoe today, and it felt great for going to the gym, working out. And I usually reserve my workout shoes. The shoe that I reserve for my workouts is the Nike Metcon 6, and that shoe does very well. It keeps my heel locked in place and is stable and it's good. It's not that much of cushioning, but I just decided to try this one just because, and it did good. So I was surprised with that, and I'm happy. I'm not complaining about that. What I'm complaining about is that I waited so long to give this shoe a try and to give it a chance. And what happened was I went on the treadmill with it, and that's when it hit. For some reason or other, I was on a treadmill just as a warm up and a cool down. I wasn't going fast, but something clicked. The heel felt like this is where it's supposed to be. It came in line, and it gave me an idea, like this is how this heel is supposed to be used. And I was like, you can use this to your advantage. It's not something bad to be looked down upon, that heel, that big blocky heel. It's a little clunky. It's good for just recovery runs, and that's what I was using what I was supposedly to use this shoe as a recovery shoe. And I didn't have any recovery shoes in my collection, and I told myself this wasn't a good recovery shoe because I wasn't going to run in it. I was just going to walk in it strictly. And the other recovery shoe I did have in my collection, I gave to my brother. It was my Mizuno Neo Zen. I gave it to him because it was a little bit bigger. The sizing was a little bit bigger, and I might actually go back to that shoe. I thought about it, but I don't know if I'm going to have that shoe twice. I forgot what I was saying with that. But I didn't have a good recovery shoe in my collection, and then when I ran in this today, I was like, wait a minute, this is a good recovery shoe. I can use this. You just have to know how to use it and when to use it. It's a good recovery shoe. You don't want to go fast in it. It's just, maintaining a jogging type of pace. It's not meant for any huge, workouts, any explosive workouts. It's just to get you through the run. And what I felt about it was that it was protecting my knees and my back, because it was absorbing a lot of energy. The thickness of the foam here, you can see how high that stack is. It was absorbing a lot of the energy that would normally go into my knees, and I could feel my knees, like usually when you're bouncing on a treadmill, you can kind of feel your knees and your back and sometimes your ankles a little bit. They're kind of like, those are the points, the stress points, and your hips maybe sometimes. But in this shoe, it felt like it was absorbing a lot of that, and I was like, you know what? This is good. This is a good shoe. I think I want to keep this and put it in my collection, in my rotation, and use this a lot more often than I was doing in the past. And the shoe looks good. So I was wrong about this shoe, to be honest with you. I thought that the shoe was just going to sit in my closet and just every now and then I'd wear it. But now I'm going to start using this shoe and taking it, to its full potential, and taking advantage of this shoe because it is great. I was wrong about it. Now, I was also like, I was a heel striker, but now I'm kind of being more conscious of where I plant my foot when I run, and I'm kind of going more as a midfoot striker. And this shoe did good in that regard as a midfoot strike. The heel striking was not the greatest because, again, the blockiness of that heel is not the best for me. I still maintain that it feels a little blocky, and it can be a little slappy, but it's not a bad thing. And that's not... that weakness doesn't negate all of its positive things, all the positive points. So, the upper is very comfortable. I like it. I tied, I was wearing a shoe with the, I had the lockdown very loose because that's kind of how I like to wear my shoes, a little bit very loose. And then I just tied them up a little bit today when I got to the gym after I did that little warm up, and now these shoes are locked in great, and I'm happy about them. I'm going to keep them in my rotation as my recovery shoe. I think this is my one and only recovery shoe. I mean, I have some other shoes with some higher heel stacks, but I won't use them as a recovery shoe. I think it's the Salomon Aeroglide 3s, I think, gravel versions. So I don't know if I'm going to use that as a recovery shoe so much, but I think I'm going to use this as my recovery shoe. The other recovery shoe that I'm thinking about getting was, and I had it in the past, it was the Mizuno Neo Zen. I gave it to my brother, so I didn't have a actual recovery shoe. I didn't think I did, but now I know I do in this ASICS Nimbus 26. And this is the shoe, man. I'm glad I ran into the shoe. I'm glad I have it in my collection. I'm not going to take it for granted. I was ready to give this pair of shoes away. You know what I mean? But I don't think that's going to happen anymore. I'm not in love with these shoes, but these are, to me, they're underrated, and I recommend them to anybody. Now, I thought that it was just for people who are really heavy, or people, who have a certain style of what they wanted, like you want a lot of comfort under their foot, and it's okay to have a little comfort under your foot with a high heel stack. And I'm kind of an old school runner. The high heel stacks is not my thing really, but it's okay to have one or two shoes with a high heel stack, and that's what I have now in my collection. I have this one, and I have the Salomon Aeroglide. The other ones don't have very high heel stacks. I don't want to wear shoes with high heel stacks all the time. It's just, you can use them to your advantage at certain times. You just have to know how to do it and when to do it. And I'm glad I got this shoe, and I'm glad I have it. This is my kind of a review or my experience of the ASICS Nimbus 26. If you guys have any comments, questions, or suggestions, let me know. It's Johnny Runsport, and if you have, leave a comment or anything like that, like my videos, subscribe to my channel, and all that good stuff. John Dominique, aka Johnny Runsport. Peace.